Moving on, I would like now to invite our next speaker. We're doing very well with time, it's really nice. Tudor Pop is an associate director in the Façade Consultancy Department within the Building Consultancy Planning Department at CBRE. And he has over 11 years of experience in the industry, including over 5 years as a consultant in building surveying and over 2 years of experience working in the heritage sector.
Thank you, can you help me? Now, I realise I am the last person standing between this room and the lunch, so I'll try to not dwell too much and be quick. I want to share my experience at the MSc with you, and I will not bore you too much with details of my dissertation, although I will mention a few aspects of it. And also maybe just to explain why I chose this MSc and not a different one. That will certainly help the prospective students, but just to explain my experience and why I enjoyed my time so much at the MSc to those present in the audience who are maybe alumni or have various other relation with heritage. A few words about the company I work for. CBRE is a large real estate advisor. It is the largest company in the world, not the first one in the UK, however, it is well known, and what one would think, why would anyone from CBRE want to deal with sustainable heritage? Well, in my case, I did an undergraduate degree in history and English. That was back in Romania. I'm originally from Romania. And then somehow I decided I don't want to be a teacher. Although the government is doing everything in its power to grab as many as possible in the teaching profession, but it was just something that I realized wasn't working for me. So I thought of how can I find the best route for me to be able to have a career that I like, to include all these interests that I have, and facade engineering was something that I think it chose me rather than me choosing it. And I did an MSc in facade engineering at Bath University, which at the time was the only one in the world. So I had some previous knowledge of a postgraduate degree before choosing the MSc in Sustainable Heritage at UCL. And one of the other reasons why the MSc at UCL was very interesting to me was the fact that it was recognized by RICS, by the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So it's an approved course by RICS, which means for those interested in continuing in becoming members of RICS, they will be accepted in this organization. And for me, being a facade engineer wasn't sufficient for RICS, although facades are looked at by building surveyors. So when I asked who does the surveys for modern buildings, I was told, well, it's you, but it's just as a consultant, not as a surveyor. So being at CBRE, I thought, how can I become a chartered surveyor and at the same time also integrate all my interests? And I suggested that I would do a postgraduate degree, which would combine my previous knowledge and interest in history, and also bring together the current professional knowledge and experience in facade engineering. So of course that is approved by RICS, and that would allow me to start the ABC process, which is the assessment of professional competence in order to become a chartered surveyor. And my company supported me in this. And I had several options. I looked at other universities as well in the UK, in London. I tried not to go too far. Travelling to Bath from London is not that easy, so I didn't want to replicate that kind of experience. So I tried to keep close to home, and from the options available, the course at UCL stood out because of the approach that it takes in dealing with heritage. It wasn't the cheapest one, but that didn't matter in the end, because the knowledge and the experience and the 2 years spent dealing with the various issues put forward by colleagues and professors at university, I think it paid off. I should mention that I did the degree as a part-time student, and that was also that was very important, because I was working at the same time as studying. And one favourable aspect of the MSc is the fact that it has these modules, these 2 weeks, 2-week blocks, where you are fully engaged in the work that you're doing at university, being self-study or taking part in the lectures. So for me, it worked really well, because I knew when I needed to take time off from work, and then I could allocate that time well in advance. Calliope did mention before that you can study this course from abroad as well. And I did have colleagues coming in from other countries, not only from Europe. This was actually quite different from the previous degree I did at Bath, where I had to go to the university 1 day each week to attend the lectures. So this was one aspect, again, why I chose the MSc at UCL. And also, more importantly, that it dealt with heritage in a new way. And I wasn't particularly interested in, or not specifically interested in, dealing with conservation issues only, and maybe just preservation of materials or one specific aspect from heritage. It was the fact that I see heritage as pretty much anything that you want it to be, and like we've heard earlier in presentations, there are various perspectives and different ways to approach heritage. We have different policies and laws that cover heritage in various countries. The fact that the lecturers, professors who lecture at UCL come from different countries, not only from the UK, and also have different backgrounds, was something that was very interesting and brought a large contribution to the course. Also the fact that colleagues are coming from different countries, different backgrounds, it could give a whole different perspective to how I saw heritage. And although the tendency in the UK with news regarding the heritage sector tends to be very dramatic. I mean, we've seen some cutouts from newspapers. The course at UCL didn't fall in this trap, and it presented heritage really as anything that you wanted it to be. So we could focus on specific aspects that we liked. We could take the elements that were presented to us in the course, and then just continue, run with it, and do our own thing, do our own study, or if we wanted, we could work together, which was mentioned before. The interdisciplinarity is really driving this degree. So, heritage is anything you want it to be. Maybe it's something like this, traditional buildings. This is what pretty much everyone would expect. History Manor in Barking is one of my case studies for my dissertation, where I dealt with the issue of improving windows in historic buildings. So maybe I should mention here that the course does help students in choosing the topic that they want for the dissertation. For me, it was very easy to choose something that I liked, and I was supported in this by colleagues and everyone in the course. And just to say, this is one of the heritage assets that you'd expect it to be, a traditional heritage. Or maybe Derren Park in Bath. I used this as a case study for my dissertation as well. And interestingly, I never went to visit Derren Park when I was going to Bath to study, and I ended up looking at the building for using it as a case study for my my dissertation. I'm all the way from London again. It was a bit surreal. But yes, this is traditional heritage. However, is this something that you'd expect as heritage? I certainly didn't, because previously I didn't see cemeteries as being part of heritage. Maybe I should have, but my knowledge of heritage was limited, and this is, I think, one of the other important aspects of the degree at UCL, that it just opens your eyes to various other aspects of heritage and makes you think in a different way. It makes you see heritage in places where you wouldn't maybe think of finding heritage. We managed to get away from the cemetery all intact and no one was left behind. But it was this particular visit, and maybe I should mention here that the course has quite a few visits to various places, various sites, all chosen in various places in London, but not only in London, outside London as well. So if you are from outside the UK, you will get a chance to see a lot of London and places outside London to understand the British heritage. If you are from the UK, if you live here, maybe you have seen some of these places, or maybe you haven't, but for sure you will be able to see these new sites, with new eyes. And when you hear heritage professionals explaining and giving you more background information, then it's a completely different experience. So just to continue, heritage brings, the course brings a new perspective to heritage and brings you to places that inspire. I have to say that I have been inspired by the course, and I have found heritage as a field that I could work in or become more involved, and this is something that has helped me professionally as well, because at CBRE, after graduating the course, I suggested that we should start a building surveyors group that deals specifically with heritage. And this is surprising. It was surprising to me to know that out of 280 surveyors in the company, there was only one other person who had experience in heritage and in conservation. And I was the second one. And coming with all this, bringing all this knowledge and all this experience from the 2 years I did the degree part-time, I was able to put this forward and for this suggestion to be accepted. So now it looks like I'm going to actually use this information and knowledge from the course. I should also mention that it's, for those who decide to do the course part-time, it's not as easy as it sounds, especially if you're planning to work. It's going to be not impossible, because there have been so many other students in 10 years over the life of the degree so far. It has been done, you have to plan carefully. You have to think carefully how you're going to combine work with study. And for those students who are full-time, again, you will be there full-time. You will also meet other colleagues who are part-time from previous years and who are doing various other modules, which, again, I think is a benefit of the course. The fact that you end up knowing so many different colleagues coming from different stages in the process before submitting a dissertation. I think that is inspiring as well. And this was inspiring for me to visit the cemetery and to find a place like this. It was very different from what I had expected. The City of London Cemetery is a very nice place. I recommend you visit just for the gardens that are there. And I had never been there. It was something that changed my perspective. The reason why I put this slide in was because the course also includes natural heritage, and we actually had lectures on parks and landscape, which was very interesting. Again, it gives a different perspective. So I can't stress enough that prospective students should look at the course and the modules and the information that is presented in the course. And I'm sure alumni will be able to confirm this from their experience. Although the information presented is slightly different from one year to another, it does keep within the same spirit of innovation and interdisciplinary approach. Again, from the same place, I was very surprised to find a modern building or a modernist building. I mean, I am more interested in buildings rather than, say, parks or. Although I do like parks and I do go to the park. It was something that made me again think: how can heritage be approached, and the fact that there are different ways to look at it. So I mentioned that we look at different types of buildings, and this one, the Arsacon building in Hampstead, was again part of my dissertation. I included this as a case study, and it was great, the fact that I could look at so many different buildings, so many different places. I could do my own research with help from Calliope and from May. I found this truly inspiring. I have found places that I had never been before. Homewood in ISH, although it's not far away from where I live, I had no idea it was there. And I am still surprised at the heritage places that come up in various trips that I take professionally, and the fact that they all are so great, and they bring so many new aspects of heritage. That I just wonder, will this ever stop? It probably won't, because we have a limited knowledge. However, the course does help us in understanding, it helps us to understand how to approach all this this field. And I think London is a great place to study heritage. It's a great place that blends modern and traditional architecture, and it has a great history. It's a very cosmopolitan place. It's now riding the wave as one of the best places in the world to be in at the moment. And I think choosing from other courses within the UK or outside the UK, the degree at UCL is one of the best placed ones because of its location and also the staff. Yeah, I think we've had this before in one of the previous slides. Is it really? Well, this just brings a debate in not only outside the course but in the course as well. And why wouldn't you want to be in a setting where these kind of debates are and these kind of questions are asked? Instead of it was surprising when I found out about Paris. Why is Paris so flat? Why doesn't it have high-rise buildings or modern architecture like London? And I was surprised to learn of the kind of concept behind that and the legislation behind that. So the course gives that international perspective as well. That way we can put London in perspective, understand why it is the way it is and where it will be in the future. Again, some slides and photos from places we have been. You have the marshes in Essex. Then you get to look at materials as well. I mentioned this for those who want to look in more depth at materials. They can do that using the information in the course. And those who want to deal specifically more with conservation, they can. So I think the course offers a platform, and it certainly did for me. It offered a platform to choose in which direction to go. And you've seen the different career paths taken by various other colleagues. So no matter what the season, we go out, we visit places. Luckily it was sunny that day. I understand in other years it was raining or snowing. There are a few colleagues over there. You can't see them because they're covered in snow. It's the fact that you can again you visit many places, and that brings the best out of the course. What time of day? Yes, we had to go out at night time and do surveys, and we couldn't sleep. We had to stay up all night, and no, actually we didn't. That was because we chose to do that. We chose to go out in Malta and have fun as well, not only study. Yes, I think out of the 2 weeks in Malta, we didn't sleep that much. During the day we studied, during the night we had study, fun study, both. Yes, this is Malta, and I think Malta is the cherry on the cake. It really is, and you'll hear this again and again. It really is the best time that everyone has in the course, because it gives the international perspective. You go outside the UK as part of the course, and I don't know many other courses, many other postgraduate degrees that give this opportunity. And that's not the reason why I chose the MSc for a free trip to Malta. There's the technology as well. The institute has a very good laboratory. You will be able to use, if you ask nicely, be able to use the technology in the laboratory. And this for me again was a very good aspect of the course, that we have hands-on experience with the various gadgets. Again, this was part of my dissertation. I didn't end up using a thermographic imaging camera, but it was it's part of the technology. Let's not forget, this is about science and heritage and bringing the two together. Again, you will end up dealing with data, environmental data, and there will be fun as well. Another photo with the big ships and sea. There was one in Kenneth's presentation as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go on one of those ships. We just stood there and looked at them. I think we were just poor students. But there will be fun as well. I can guarantee you there will be fun, not only in Malta but also here in London at UCL. UCL is a global university. It's a very large university, well-known university, it's great to it's a great place to socialize and to get to meet other students as well. Just a few more slides from Malta. Everyone has a different experience there. They look at different case studies. We looked at the Inquisitor's Palace, but they all have the same vein in the sense that they inspire. And again, I don't think we did surveys at night time, but someone took this photo in Malta. I think you will have a chance to be part of the alumni of the MSc at the Institute, and unfortunately you won't be able to make this joke again because it has been done and you've seen it. The famous Maltesers, the sweets. Thank you, and for those who plan to join the MSc, enjoy it.
We should have done this presentation when we had a technological disaster. It's very appropriate. So, time for questions. You're hungry, There's a question there. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, I'm a computer scientist. I come from Italy. And you mentioned that you did the course about as a part-time student. And I would like to know if you found this useful for you, or if you now think that it would be better to do as a full-time student. I would like to know if you found your work experience useful for the course as a for inspiring your study, or
Yes, no, it was definitely inspiring, and the fact that I did the course part-time was partly linked with the fact that I had a full-time job, so I couldn't say, no, I'm not working a year, I'll take a year off. But also the fact that in my case specifically it worked, and it worked really well. It actually worked better than my other degree, where I could compare, you know. The previous one meant going to the course 1 day a week. This one has a block of 2 weeks. So you know in advance, you can ask in advance when are those modules. You know the module in Malta means you have to be in Malta for 2 weeks. So I don't think it can be done any better than it already is. You have a lot of information available online. There is constant contact with the staff. You can ask questions. It's very easy. However, for those who can do the course full time, that works well as well, because you're 1 year in London and you are dealing with everything in one go. So actually, sometimes that works better because you're able to, you know, keep a constant focus on the study. Whereas as a part-time student, it's always you know, the struggle between work and always focusing on study, and this becomes visible during the dissertation. That's when I think that is the the course.
More questions?
I'm now an MSc student now, and I'm very interested about your previous master degree. It's facade engineering. Have you done anything about the combination between the facade engineering and the heritage?
Well, this is precisely the reason why I chose Sustainable Heritage, because it's very much linked to my previous experience. And although there were other courses which dealt with heritage, they weren't dealing with heritage in the way that this degree did. So it combines sustainability elements as well as the heritage element, which come very much into play with the work I'm doing. So although my previous experience, the work I do is mostly to do with modern buildings and modern facades, this degree brought all the knowledge I needed to be able to add the other aspect of heritage. Now, it's a bit biased, my view, because I deal mostly with buildings, but it's not only buildings that, it's not only built heritage that you deal with. We had courses on textile materials and costumes. So, yeah, it's varied, it's extremely varied, and each one of us can take what they like from the course and then take it on in their career or study or in the dissertation. That's up to you.
Can I ask, taking that a little bit further and going back to what Steph said before, how did the course change your practice of facade engineering? So have you changed the way?
I got promoted. Yes.
In addition to that?
Yes, it did change because I had the possibility to suggest this Building Consultancy Heritage group, and now I have the credentials to be able to suggest this, and it was taken on board, and also the fact that I am now able to deal with traditional heritage and in terms of changing the facade engineering. I haven't yet come across that project where I can use both modern facades and traditional ones, although I would like to work on practicing power stations.
But interestingly, in your choice of dissertation, where you looked at windows, historic buildings, windows are part of the facade. So you must have made linkages through your dissertation between the course that you were studying and your experience as a facade engineer. Could you comment a little bit on that, how the dissertation might have been informed or not by your previous experience?
Well, it was actually, you are right, because I did choose the topic of my dissertation was improving windows in existing buildings, in historic buildings, and I looked specifically at the National Trust. So I wanted to see how a large organisation like the National Trust deals with all the different properties that they have, because they deal with so many properties, both traditional and modernist properties. So I was hoping to be able to use the knowledge from the course as well as my experience dealing with modern facades. And although initially there was talk of a different topic, choosing a different topic, when this suggestion came in, it actually seemed to be just a perfect fit. And yes, it was a perfect fit because of my facade engineering background, but also the interest in heritage and the support I got from and the National Trust. Yes, so yes.
And also because I was a supervisor, by bringing together the values aspect of facade engineering, I think was quite interesting, because you could speak both languages, so you could speak the language and understand the language with international trust, which was about historic buildings and values and the sensitivities of the interventions you could impose. But at the same time, there was a little bit of goal of improving the building, which was energy efficiency. So it is a realistic reality we need to face. So bringing also your engineering, you can be quite pragmatic as well. So by bringing the two together, it worked quite nicely.
Even though you're maybe an architect or a computer scientist, you will be able to find links with heritage, and the course will help you just clarify that path. It will be the best place you can choose to do that.
Do we have any more questions before we break for lunch? I say the magic word lunch. Okay. So then we can have lunch till 2:30. Lunch will sorry, I think it's 2:30. It's 2:30. I think the lunch will be served in the second. Okay, great. So